Or Hawaii. I'd love to go back to Hawaii and just when he came to be in the world. Why are you laughing?
I was a little bit delayed, huh?
Cindy said faceless Chase. He's
Oh.
still not right.
Okay, here we go.
Riser's name came from a lot of people talking. I'd love to go back to Hawaii.
Oh, shoot, this may not work.
It's a lot to wait. Jason with some really good friends.
There is
I'll share more stuff later. I got distracted.
the one and only, everyone.
What's up, everybody?
Full face Chase. There it is. Cindy. Well done.
I think we did it. Okay, so you guys, okay, you muted. You're gonna have to unmute on the Zoom. So people that are joining us on YouTube right now can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
And then
Is that better?
We're unmuted. We should be good.
Oh. Nope.
Technical.
Technology.
It's unmuted.
Riser. Hi, Bubba's.
Oh snap! It's Chase. I mean, y'all love Chase's like facial hair, right? Like he has a good.
Okay. I think that we just did it. Okay, I muted my computer volume. What's up? Okay, we're just gonna roll. Let's just roll.
Let's roll.
We've got friends and family here, and I'm already
Yes, we do.
late to the party. Let's just roll here, and rock and roll. And then if you're joining us on YouTube, I hope you can hear this. Everything else, we're gonna just rock and roll.
If
What's
not,
up?
we can
What's
come back
up,
and watch
Wimberly?
it. What is up, Mr. Merrill?
Good Thursday evening to you.
And I'm glad that we made the decision for people to stay home because it is going to get real bad out there.
It is gonna get bad. I don't know if you guys were. I'm just giving my camera a clean here because I have kids that smudge it up. Okay, I haven't. There's people jumping in here. Let me see who's in here real quick because I'm live. I'm live with which account am I live with? I'm live with my account. So I got some friends joining from all around. But okay, Sydney. Yeah, IG over YouTube. I feel you. Drew Ches is here.
This is going smooth. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that.
Hold on, we have a guest speaker.
What's your guys? Okay, let's help people get like the full picture of like your environment.
Okay.
Also, if I'm coming out on your computer, mute your computer. I think that might solve part of our problem. Your actual computer volume, not your Zoom. Don't mute yourself on Zoom.
Don't mute yourself on Zoom. Just mute the tech.
You got it. I
itself.
think we got it. Okay. Thanks, Rye. My guy Riley Silva, best man at my wedding, my best friend. He calls me out on my words. He called, and if you did anthem with us for the last year, you got some of my words in there. What up, Pastor Taylor's in the house. Rod, what up? Skylar J, welcome everyone. When was the last time we did an Instagram live?
Wow.
Oh, I always like to get to people's like what's their live environment behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like give it. You don't even have to take us behind the scenes, but like give us like what do you got there? You got a chair. You got.
We have our chair. This is.
I was making fun of Matt because it's not the coolest backdrop. This is our dining room curtains.
It's clean. It's simple. It's not distracting.
Oh, okay. That's not what my eyes see. I see boring.
Yeah.
We just ate dinner.
I've got a polar here, black cherry polar that's dented from dropping it out of the fridge. Sydney. Yeah, I'm all about the abreves. I'm all about the abreves.
It's time. Jay, what's up, Jay?
During dinner, we had salmon and potatoes. It was bomb.
Wow, it's fantastic. Oh, okay. I just like. Okay, so you got a curtain behind you, or what? Curtain. You've got a little you got a light going. You got some degree of light.
Oh, we got a chessboard.
Oh shoot!
Good. Check it.
Oh shoot.
Anyone on here, I challenge you to chess.
Oh shoot.
He actually
That's-
plays on his phone a lot, so
You can join.
you can join him or not.
I mean, that's it, Chase. I mean, really, that's what we got around us. We got little man's room going. We have his sound machine going because he just woke up from a nap and he's supposed to
He's
still
supposed to
be
be sleeping
sleeping,
through the night, but
but
he's not.
He's not. So
Yeah.
Sarah might pop in and out because.
Love it.
But yeah, man, we're
Because
here.
That's just what life is.
I love it. No, I think it's good. I just think, I think it's good for people. Half the time I see an Instagram live, I always wonder myself, how much did they prepare for this moment, right? Because half the time they're just like, oh, I'm good, and like it feels like supernatural. But there was like a lot that went into what I'm looking at and listening to.
100%.
And I just think it's good for people to know, like, oh, cool. Yeah, they're just going
Hey,
in the
tell us
living
your
room.
side.
What's up?
Where you at? Where are you at?
Oh, I'm in my bedroom right now. We just sold our bed, so like my mattress is like way down there on the floor, and I low key kind of like it. Holly and I were like complaining about it at first, like, oh, we gotta buy a new bed. We don't like laying on the floor, and I'm like, this is amazing. You just get to. There's no. It's fantastic.
It is.
Fall backwards on it.
Yeah. So I'm in my room, and Holly's taking care of the bath time that I did, and I'm all set for bed. I'm excited to jump on with you guys for our young adult community. So one of the ways, what we'll do, because one of the things that I absolutely love and people
I don't know
love
how,
is
Chase. I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you. I don't know how you stay serious half the time with all these jokers on here that just like
that's what I was about to say.
sidetrack. Oh my gosh.
I was about to just mention people love the interaction, and I'm gonna give them what they love. So hey, we'll kind of go in and out if that's okay. If you see a comment,
With you.
and
Lindsay! He's not-
Alec,
listen,
you're-
it wasn't. I'm gonna respond real quick. It wasn't. He didn't buy my mattress. Even it was a couple. They bought our bed frame. Just to be clear, they didn't buy our mattress. Our mattress is still on the floor. Right. Appreciate that clarity.
Clarification there was good.
I'd also be down.
There's a couple people on here asking for a bedroom tour. It sounds like. So we'll have to give them that down the road.
Yeah, there's too much of a setup here, guys, that if I take it down, it's gonna take me at least a solid 2 minutes to put it all back together.
Bro, that's nothing. I'm like a 20-minute guy. You know what I mean? Like you've already experienced tonight so far. I thought I was gonna have it. I thought I was gonna have it set up in 2 minutes. Nope, I did not. It took a lot
We
longer.
got
Okay.
5 for a 2. Gosh, guys.
I think it's Chase. Chase can do the bedroom tour.
Yeah, we'll do
I think
another. We'll do another episode. We'll do another episode of the bedroom tours.
So funny.
You know how people, and it's great how people threaten to leave like, if we don't do what they want them to do. It's great.
Yeah.
Yes, they left mine in the 2 years earlier.
So okay, what we'll do as we respond, as we interact, Wimberly's and throughout this time, I know you got little man there, and people are going to comment is if we do see guys, if you do want to ask questions or throw some things in. Cole's about to dip. See you, Cole. Peace. If you do want to put some comments in there and some questions about what we're talking about tonight, just kind of getting to know Matt and Sarah a little bit, and just talking about, like you mentioned, how to live out God's best for your life, how to walk in what God's plan is for your life, and just a conversation about that. Excited to jump into that. But we'll stop and we'll interact with people as we go, as we can. It is hard to stay focused on what you're talking about when you read a comment, but part of why we would do this versus just recording a video and uploading it is for the very ability to be able to interact with people.
There it is.
There it is.
Solid.
Emmanuel, we love and miss you too, bro. Keep crushing it out there in Oregon. Amen. Okay. So jumping in. Okay, this is young adults. I'm on my account here too, and I'm hoping people that are hanging with us are excited to just spend a few minutes. I won't go super long, but just to get some opportunity for people to ask questions, and get to know you guys a little bit more, as well as, man, let's just kind of talk a little bit about this season, and one thing again, how we can help people walk out what God's doing in their life in the season. So as you're watching and you're listening, man, join in with a question or two for the Wimberlys as we get to know them a little bit. Listen, I would say no question is off limits, but there are off limit questions, y'all. Like this is Instagram, you know, keep it Instagram friendly, right? The direct message you can send to them if you want, but like we're here. Let's just
That's right.
there is off limits. I'm not going to be the no off limits guy because there are.
It
But
already sounds like a chase. Let's be honest.
But for people to get to ask some questions. So as we do that, again, some of this is kind of delayed at times, so we'll have to give it some time for people to jump in. But if you've got questions for Matt and Sarah, maybe their background, what God's doing in them right now, anything about marriage and family and life or singleness, because you guys weren't always married. There was a season where you weren't.
There was a long season. Yes.
Married. What's up, little man? So that would be good. Okay, I'll stop talking from you guys.
Let me start it off. Someone submitted a question earlier. It's just saying how we met. So briefly, how we met. Sarah is 3 years older than I am. I know she doesn't look it, but she is. She is amazing. Fun fact: when she was a senior in high school, I was in 8th grade. It's pretty. Yeah, I know. I'm that good. So we met. She was friends with my oldest brother, and we got to. I knew of her growing up.
Two older brothers.
I knew her growing up, and she kind of went off to college. I was still in high school at that time, and then eventually she came back.
Can I ask a question? Everybody probably wants to know too. Like, what? So, like, how did your brothers feel about the fact that like you were swooping in on like the older lady, and they're sitting there, asking themselves what they're doing with their lives, and here they are, their younger brother is.
Well, let's be honest,
they were already married.
They were already married,
okay,
so they didn't really get.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, we can ask them now, but I guarantee you they're going to say that they were happily married, so they didn't really care.
Okay, but even then, I guess they got to be thinking to themselves like, how is Matt doing this?
I mean, dude. You know what? People ask me that all the time. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so Sarah came back to the church, and that's kind of when I got to. I'm like, hey, wait a second, right? Because in the single, right, there's a season of time where there's like a select number of singles at the church, and
all hang out together.
All hang out together, right? So you know who is available,
right? And, well. Like, okay, again, a lot of people in this season, maybe even joining us now, young adults, are like, I know y'all been mad because we haven't had young adults for the last 10 months because you want more Jesus and you want to pursue him and all that stuff. I know that, but let's be honest. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Most of you, there's a thing under the thing, which is like, yo, you're taking away my place from being able to find a very potential considered mate, and that's where the bitterness is really. I think deep down that's really where it's coming from, and that's that. Anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge that because you're right, because there's a time frame when everybody comes together, and okay, keep going.
I'll tell you that, man. Keep pursuing that because it worked for me. That's how I met my bride. That's how I pursued her. I made sure that when we went out to a restaurant with a bunch of single group, I sat across from her. I made sure I cut the line. I did whatever it takes.
He opened my door. He walked me to my car. He asked me about my interests.
Okay, another question about that, because that's really pertinent to these guys. Matt, how did you balance the intentional pursuit without coming on too strong?
Wow.
Good question.
I know none of our guys are have a struggle with that, but
yeah, right.
But how did you balance that?
I think honestly, Chase, Sarah was the first girl I ever dated. So I think when I knew that I had feelings for her, and then there was a few things that I did or she did even that kind of gave it away that these feelings were mutual, right? Because there was conversation. Shout out to Facebook. Facebook was the way that we communicated. If we didn't have Facebook,
there was no Instagram yet.
There wasn't. Well, yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think there was Instagram, or it was barely starting.
No one knew, right? So I would say I think there were times where like I asked for her phone number once over Facebook, and she totally shot me down. And I'm like, okay, well, this could be the end of it, right? Luckily, it wasn't. The second time, she said yes. So that's a good pause moment. So you didn't let the first moment of rejection stop you from another pursuit. Correct. Skylar, yes, these are dating tips. So make sure you have a pen and paper and write this all down.
Oh,
You're right. I didn't let it stop me. Andrew, how did you win her over? Did you give her your hair, your ultimate source of strength? My gosh.
No, he didn't have
No,
any.
actually, there was a sick person who needed my hair, Andrew, and I gave it to them, not my wife.
He had no hair when we met.
That's true. So I mean, yeah, Chase, I think that's answered the questions. I think there was little things that I did that kind of gave, like there was I wouldn't say clues, but there were things that I noticed that the way that she responded that were kind of allowing, agreeing to what I was doing. I was like, okay, this is working, and so I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. Okay. From Sarah's perspective, how did you perceive all of that? And like, so like for real, but then also like, as you're, we've got single ladies that are watching and also wanting to know, okay, how do I navigate this from the other side of it potentially here too? What would you say? How did you do it? But then how would you speak to that whole pursuit? You kind of didn't give him what he was asking for up front, and then you made him kind of work for it a little bit more. Give me your thoughts.
So honestly, I observed like who he was in different scenarios before I really wanted to not give in, but like talk to him more, because I really wanted to see that who he says he was. And so a lot of conversations with like people around us, like, hey, who's this Matt guy? Because I didn't really know him. I knew his brothers. And so just really
I was the younger kid who, younger brother wasn't allowed in the room to hang out.
Right. Just the David out in the field.
He's out in the field. Hey, linger in the field because eventually they'll come.
Hey. So I just got to know him as a friend, literally. Yeah. And then my girlfriends would always say, he likes you. You guys may hear a little baby in the background because
you're good.
He's a little fussy. And so I don't know. I think a lot of it was just an observation of just watching that he was who he says he was. And the more that I got to know him and the more that I really felt like from that, it wasn't about like my physical appearance. It wasn't about like who I was, but it was about my heart. And I could tell that by the things that he was asking about and pursuing. And I knew that he loved the Lord and it wasn't just a show. And that really was what drew me to him.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question. There's a lot to that, but it was definitely a mutual pursuit.
So let me ask this. Were you, so when in his first initial pursuit or asking for your number on Facebook, etc., did you like have a feeling like, yeah, I could give this guy a shot, but I'm not going to give him to him yet? Or were you like really clearly like, there's no shot and then something changed? Or like, give us that foundation.
In my person, like, honestly, there was no, can you hide that? Cause I can't multitask like that. There was no, like, I thought the Lord had told me, and this is like a whole nother topic in itself, but I thought the Lord had told me I wasn't going to date for a year. And so when he was pursuing me, it was like 2 months into that. I'm like, no. Like, God just told me that I'm not going to date anyone for a year. So it was like, I really felt like a hard no. Like I was really pursuing the desires of my heart. I was going on mission trips. I was going back to church, and I was like, started serving in the youth group and all of these things that I wanted to do. And then Matt comes along and starts pursuing me. And I'm like, no, God said no boys right now. Like, I'm trying to focus on what you're having me do.
Well, and like that is like the best, it's not a trick, but the best trick a girl could possibly do is hey, I'm off the market because I can't date this year because God told me. And then all of a sudden,
it was real.
I know, I was giving a hard time, but isn't that funny how all of a sudden guys are like, wait, I can't date you now, so now I want to date you because you're like, I'm not dating right now. Yep. Anyway, I know that, I'm just kidding. I know that was JD.
No, 100%. No, that's it. I think
so good. Okay.
Amanda Wimberly's on here. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Amanda.
There's no one like you.
We love you.
Amanda, YouTube, Amanda. Hey, so I'll take a quick pause. We got Wes in the house too. Wes in the house. Hey, we're gonna give as we'll go. I have another question, but I'm gonna make sure people know they can ask questions here. And then we'll try to field some as they come in.
There's a question. Here's a question. Happy birthday, Wes. Yeah.
Can you see questions from your end? Because I can't see them from my end.
Yes. So we have a couple. Sarah, thank you for asking these
Perfect.
questions. Let's do this one. Best piece of advice for someone in their early 20s. Go.
Best piece of you go.
Okay. Someone once said that you're the average of the 5 closest people around you. And what I would say is make sure those who are around you are people that you want to be like, right? People who challenge you, people that push you, people that motivate you to do what you know you need to do, right? Because sometimes we get around people who do the opposite. And so I would say, man, find those people now and invest into them, no matter if they're here, they're local, they live in another state, right? Because I know even Pastor Chase has some of his closest friends are still from California, right? Doesn't mean he isn't invested and have people around him now. He's still investing into those relationships. And so invest into those relationships that you desire to even be like. So,
yeah.
I would say be you. There's no one like you. And so I think a lot of the things that create who you are, don't be afraid to be that person, because the world needs more of that. When I was in my 20s, I feel like that's something I didn't have a grasp on, was like who I really was. I wanted to be more of what people wanted. And so just be yourself, be who God created you to be, and people will love that.
Yeah. That's so good. And it's so undervalued. Both of those things I think they're underrated and undervalued.
Yeah.
In the 20s. I'll say something real quick, and then there's more questions that come in. I'm in my last couple months of my 20s, not early 20s anymore, but I'm about to turn 30 in
You
April.
are?
Let's go, bro. Me and you.
No,
Let's go.
30s are
I'm
awesome.
out of the young adult circle. Shoot. But I still wear a beanie with like a moose on it. I'm gonna hang it as long as
It's because you're a hunter, though. That's why.
Camo for life. One of the things that if I could go back in the young 20s and just say like, hey, one of the most undervalued and underrated things is the character development side of things. Like I'm telling you, like you'll get yours one day. The opportunities are going to come. Like the Lord's going to open the right doors. You're going to build the things you want to build. You're going to get to experience the things you want to experience, like with the Lord, and all of those things are going to come. But don't undervalue and underestimate the character building time of your 20s, and like dig deep into that. Don't bypass it. Don't run through it. Don't devalue it. Like lean into that character, who you are when no one's looking, your heart's desires and your affections that maybe nobody. I mean, just let that character be grown in who you are.
Yep.
Because that will really lay the foundation for your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I think that if I could say that one thing, character development is massive, and a lot of people rush through that hoping to just one day. Now, like lean into that early. Okay.
So
a couple more questions. That couple questions came in on why do you have a fire for young adults?
I'll speak for myself that was probably the hardest years of my life, was my young adult years. And so it really formed and shaped who I am. And so I have a passion for those women, especially, but for young adults in general, because it's a really primitive age of how God is forming and shaping you for your future. And I wish I would have had people to speak more into my life. And I wish that I would have listened more to people who spoke into my life. But I think it's a really shaping time of your life. You get to make your own choices. You have a job. You get to handle your finances and find relationships.
You can live on your own.
You can live on your own if you want to. You get to learn how to cook, like all these crazy things. And so I just really have a heart for the young adults, because that was hard years for me. And so I just want to be with people of that age. So.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Matt?
Just so you guys know, our baby is down here, and that's what we keep looking at.
Yeah.
For those who are wondering what we are doing.
Those that are joining a little late.
There's a little tiny human down here. Hi, brother.
What? Okay, Matt. How about you? You want to speak to that at all, or would you say?
I'd say something very similar. The Lord, I really got rocked, and that was kind of the moment that I look back on, that the Lord really met me. And so I think that's just it's an age where or a season of life that like Sarah said is so important. And so I think we value these people, and I mean it's young adults are fun, man. Young adults are it's such a fun season of life. It can be if you allow it to be. So
yeah, so good.
Looks like we're reading a
So-
script. Gosh, I feel so encouraged. You make me feel like Sandy did. Okay.
Andrew is such an encourager, man. It's one of his gifts, honestly.
Don't be a Sandy.
Sandy.
What up, Justin Wimberly? We got a couple Wimberlys in here. Let's go.
Unless they fell
Um,
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I did my showing, and then now
Yeah,
it's. I'm
here's
out.
my name and now I'm leaving.
I like Shayla's comment here. Another great one from Shayla, and I'll read it if you're not able to see it, or if you're on YouTube and watching this. The question or the comment question is this: finding your purpose, quote unquote, in your 20s is emphasized not only in the church but in the world as well. What are some thoughts / some advice on that statement and pursuing that in Christ?
Loaded question.
That is a loaded question, Shayla. Great question. To be honest, Shayla, I think there's part of me that I feel like I'm doing that. We're doing that. I think a lot of you might not know that we came back from a pretty awesome job in a pretty awesome location in San Diego, right? But we came back for a season of resting, a season of healing, and I think to really I think sometimes we can become so obsessed with finding our purpose that we lose sight of what God kind of is putting in front of us at times. But I would say, Shayla, I think for me, it's creating lots of moments to really spend time with the Lord, to really not only like ask what He wants to speak to me, but also to like search in my own heart, like what fills me, what am I passionate about? What do I feel like God's calling me to do? Not just things that I'm capable of doing, but actually what God's calling me to do. Because there's a big difference, and one will actually fill you right deep within. And so I think that's a great question, and I think that's one that I'm currently living right now too. So more to come.
Yeah. I think with the purpose question too, it's important. I think sometimes it can be over pursued. I don't know if that's how I want to say it, but I think it can be obsessed about sometimes, and you got to find it. Got to find your purpose. It's hidden in this little treasure box deep within the bellows of the earth. You got to dig and dig. I mean, like I think, and people are like, and I don't want someone to mishear me about it, but like, Rick Warren's purpose-driven life. I do think purpose is really important. I think a lot of people live purposeless, and that's a big reason why they live such an unfulfilled and depressed life at times. But my encouragement would be in your 20s. Again, looking back at my last almost 10 years now of being in that season, I would lean in so much more to seeking and pursuing and finding your identity in Christ all day, every day over your purpose. Because I think your purpose flows out of your identity. Your identity is not in who you are as much as it's in whose you are first, right? That whole kind of idea. And so like, Shayla, I love the question. And I think, as you're in your young 20s season of life, purpose is so important, but I think it can be over pursued as if you find it, then you've struck gold, and like, you'll be this rocket for God, and everybody's going to be impacted by your life multiplied times 1,000. Yeah. I mean, lean into continuing to find Christ, find who He is, find your identity in Him, get to know Him. And then the purpose stuff is going to figure itself out. As that's your main pursuit. And that would be a piece of encouragement I'd contribute there too.
Can I speak onto that real quick, Chase?
Yes, Sarah, please.
Your purpose is to be a daughter and son of the King. And I think more than that is your purpose is to love and be loved, and to come out of, like what Chase was saying, was to come out of a place of love, to then go and love people. But it's your identity, and your identity is that you're a daughter and a son of the King. And so living within that is like, this is my purpose. My purpose is to know that I'm loved. And that's a huge thing that people miss, because they're trying to strive for where their purpose is. And it's just being who you are, being who God created you to be. And out of that overflow is going to come you loving people well. And so loving God and loving people. And that's a huge piece of who we are. That is who we are.
Yeah. Good.
So identity is huge.
Boom. You guys haven't, there's
huge, right, Kyle?
I don't know if there's any questions. I can't see them that are coming in the message or question box. So jump in if you have any that you see that you want to respond to. Otherwise, there's a couple more that are coming in the comments here.
Yeah. There's a couple. Let's see here. Someone asked, how can I grow in my relationship with God if I can't hear him speak to me?
Great question. Justin said snow day.
How can I grow in my relationship with God if I can't hear him speak to me? That is a phenomenal question. I think that there are, well, one, we live in a world right now where there's a lot of things that are distracting. And so I think at times we can have too much going on in life that we can't hear, even if he was speaking to us. And so I think, you know, one practically is getting used to his voice, which his voice is found in scripture, right? It's just, you know, sometimes I hate giving Christian answers, right? You ever feel that way, Chase? Like it's sometimes like it's almost difficult to say, but at the same time, it's like there's not much else to say. But I think, you know, one way to grow your relationship is just to get to know his word, right? Get to know his character, his promises. What is his promises for you? Back to the identity, right? Grow your relationship in being more solidified in knowing who you are and who you belong to, because that right there will strengthen your foundation in your relationship with God. That really can't be shaken or taken away from you if you have that secured. So
yeah, and I do have that feeling at times where like I feel like, oh, this is the same answer that they know already, or but no, you nailed it, man. If you're not feeling like you're hearing God's voice, you know, in some frame, or like in your prayer time, or you know, whatever other way, like it's in his word. You nailed it, man. Get in his word. His word speaks to you. We got
I'm sorry, Andrew.
No, it's
Could God make a snowball so big even he couldn't throw it? No, Andrew, it's God. Come on. Silly question.
That's such a philosophical question though, because
It is really.
if he could,
We're gonna go live at 8:00 to talk about snowballs and
what God's capable or not capable.
God's
Justin, feel free to join because you clearly want more snow.
Justin's, I don't even know how Justin's got service. He's out playing, rolling around in the snow right now. He's just, I don't even know how he's here.
Hey, real quick, Sarah's gonna have to bail here shortly because little man's got to eat. And any question for Sarah before she leaves?
Hold on, real quick. Did we work with young adults in California? We did junior high and high school. Basically, what the amazing Pastor Wes and Amanda do is what we did in California. And then as our students graduated and became young adults, we still mentored them. So yes, but we didn't run a young adults ministry, if that answers your question. So yes and no. Anything?
Anything else for Sarah? We'll give it a couple
You're a
seconds.
silly goose.
I know.
Oh,
I know some could come in delayed, so we'll give it a second.
How many of y'all think Chase should shave everything except his stash? Huh?
It is gnarly right now.
I think you should, because it'll grow back. Like, why not? I mean, your hair will grow back, so it's like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Think about that.
I don't know. I don't think so. At least, I mean, she's gonna love me. She's gonna love me no matter what. But oh, here you go. Question for Sarah. This could be.
So many questions.
What's your favorite part? Oh, 2 questions. What's it like to be such a dope woman of God? Question number 1. Question number 2. What's your favorite part about being a mom so far?
Okay, I'll answer question number 2 first because it's easy. We did this on a live earlier with Matt and I. Favorite part of being a mom is I can kiss him anytime I want. And not him, my other little guy. I would say being a mom is like the hardest thing I've ever done, but the best thing I've ever done. So it's just crazy that God gives us this tiny human to take care of and shepherd and grow. And it's just amazing. The hardest thing is that I'm home way more often than I ever was in my entire life. And so I get really lonely. So I talk to my baby a lot. I'm on Marco Polo a lot. And anyone want to come over, you're free to come over. What was the other question?
Andrew.
What did Andrew say?
It'll grow back, says the bald one. Sandy.
Dude, Andrew lives for these moments.
Yeah, Andrew can go live next at 8:00 and share the story of Sandy. So
This is baby Rye.
say night, Rye.
Say I love you.
Oh my, look at the chunky chunks.
Oh no.
My
Who does he
goodness.
look like? Who does he look like? Oh, it's kind of hard to tell.
Well,
Oh. Both of us? Yep.
yeah, it's a good little mix.
There it is. Okay.
Okay, guys. Love you.
Thanks, Sarah. Bye, little man.
Oh
Bye.
yeah, you're nearing the end.
I
Nearing the end.
He's fading. He's fading.
So I think most people on here, Chase, said yes to the stash. So I think this it might have to come true, except Skylar. But Skylar, you really deep down want the stash.
It's you know, I did just the stash. I didn't shave my head, but I did just the stash for an Easter service 2 years ago at I live in Water. And I did it because my first Easter at Living Water, we did the egg extravaganza Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
And I was hosting the like egg part where I had to like let kids know when the kids can go out and not with a little like megaphone. And no one took me seriously like an adult. Sydney, you were out there. No one. And I mean, hey, I'm 5'8" on a good day. I get it. No one knows me yet. Even if they did know me, it wouldn't really matter. I looked like a child. And so I made the decision that the next, Officer Merrill, the next Easter, I would make sure I look more like a man. And I decided to shave everything but my mustache. And so I had just a mustache for the extravaganza. And I got so much more respect. It was ridiculous.
Well, man, I think the time is now.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll come out one day. It really will. I know mustache life is going to be the kind of life I'm going to want to live. I just don't know if I'm ready to commit to it yet. So, okay. So, hey, we'll take a few more questions. If you're just jumping on, and want to ask Matt a question or myself, but we're getting to know Matt and Sarah, Wimberly. Oh, Andrew, I have so many things.
Straight up Paul Blart. That's what I think of.
I have so many things to say to you, Andrew Sanchez. Remington. My dog is in here. Hey. Questions. What up, Gabe? Gabe and Ellie.
Here, Chase, you want to do this one? Someone asked a little while ago. They said, "What's one thing you wish you wouldn't have told your younger adult self?"
I wouldn't have.
Yes.
One thing I wish I wouldn't have told my younger adult self.
Correct, but maybe we can switch it and say would.
Well, no, I think as I heard it again, I think I get what's being asked. Yeah, I think, well, okay, let me say it like this. There was Jay just texted me a picture of that mustache just now. It came through. It's growth. There was, I heard this recently, probably about a year ago. So it was right before COVID kind of started, that somebody interviewed a group of 100 people over 90. Okay. They were all coherent enough and everything, right? Over 90, they were all together. They interviewed them and they asked them, like, what's the most important thing, like that, like if you could go back and do again, or you would tell yourself earlier that, man, life in general, you've got 90 years, like, what would you say? And the majority of them, I can't remember the percentage, but it was well over 75%. So the majority of this group of 100 people over 90 years old made the comment that they would have risked more. Like that was it. I would have risked more. I would have done things that I didn't think I was able to do more. I would have tried to step out in if they were a Christian person saying a faith like I didn't think I could. I would have tried. I would have risked more. That was the number one thing. It wasn't a Christian thing. It wasn't like it was like a group of just 100 people over 90. That was the majority of them. And that wrecks me when I think about that. And I think about my younger self, to the question, what would you not tell your younger self if you could go back and not tell yourself that? I would basically not tell myself, like, I can't do something. I wish I could go back and stop myself from saying a few more of those moments of like, no, you can't do that.
100%.
You can't do that yet because you're not qualified enough yet. You're not old enough yet. You don't have enough ministry experience yet. you can't do that because what if somebody thinks something? Come here, buddy. What if somebody thinks something about you that isn't what your real intention was?
Ooh.
Love you.
You say good night to everybody.
Good night.
Hi, buddy.
Come here, bud.
I love you.
Pretzels? No. little before bed snack.
Well, can I have a pretzel?
I'm gonna give it a minute.
Nah.
I love you. Okay. Good night.
Now the comments are lighting up because your kids walked in. There it is.
Make sure they're going to bed, but Sydney and Sarah and just those two. I'll let them know that you said hi. Yeah, I think, but for real, like I think like the younger side of us, there's a lot of fear. There's so much fear of like failure. There's fear of rejection. There's fear of what people are gonna think. And this group of 90-year-olds was like, "Yo, go, just risk more. You don't even know what you're holding yourself back from." And that would be, I'd say something like that to the question.
Yeah. No, that's huge. I would echo that for sure.
Yeah.
Good question.
We got Skylar. If you are a young adult and you're local here in the Olympia, Shelton, Centralia, Lacey, Tumwater, Yelm area, what did I miss? Tacoma, you can come down from Tacoma. Skylar has a young adult hangout at his house tomorrow night. Skylar, let everybody know the time in the comments. Don't put your address on there though, just because that could be sketch. But put the time in. There's
Andrew would probably sell it off somewhere.
He would make some money off that in a heartbeat. Now it is, everybody be careful as they drive and all that good stuff. But if it's not too crazy, I think Skylar's going to have a cool young adult hangout at your house. Make sure you connect with Skylar. In fact, if you're not following Skylar Core, he's right here. You can click that name, give him a quick follow, shoot him a DM. He'll give you the details.
There it is.
How to get to his house. Look at that, Sydney. Take a risk. Drop the Addy. Not the same kind of risks that I'm talking about, but I love the way that you just paralleled my comment.
Man, she was listening. She was listening.
She's listening from the very beginning because she even tied in the abbreves that I love so much. And Maddie talking about the risk. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Matt, I have another question for you.
Okay.
Help people just on real practical. You give people like some of the answers to some of the kind of like the basic things that somebody might want to know, but would get to know after about a year or two of knowing you. Are you into sports? Do you have a favorite sports team? What do you care about, not care about when it comes to that world? If you had an all-time favorite show that you're like, man, if I had to watch one season or one series of a show, what would that be? Some things like that, like kind of the things you don't really get to know about somebody until you're around them for a while.
Yep.
Let's start with.
I'm a huge 49ers fan. Not really.
Sorry. Gosh, I'm gonna need to get some mouthwash.
Honestly, I don't have a favorite team. Growing up, I was the Denver Broncos fan. I don't remember why. That didn't last long.
PJ.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like wasn't he a Broncos fan? Because I remember him wearing a Broncos jersey.
I don't know. This is about me. This is about me, not PJ right now. So.
Well, I just mean like he was a mentor in your life potentially. Maybe that's why influenced it. Anyway.
True. I love watching sports though. I don't have a favorite team. I love watching sports. So pretty much everything. I love watching tennis. Weirdly enough, tennis.
I would have never guessed that.
Yep. One of my dreams is to go to the U.S. Open in New York to watch tennis.
Wow.
Yep. I 100% would love to go.
I like that. I would never know that.
Yeah. I love nature. I love getting outside. Love being outdoors. That's been difficult. I'll be honest. Right. This little Southern boy over here, Southern California. This winter has been brutal for me, but I love where I live and I love the community. And let's see what else. Favorite show. We watch a lot of shows I watch a lot of shows with my wife. So a lot of times we watch what shows she wants to watch.
Yeah.
But like Grey's Anatomy, she's gotten me hooked on Grey's Anatomy. I'll be honest. That's a show that she's got me hooked on. I love Mandalorian. I think they did a great job. Season 2 was epic.
They did a great job.
Oh, dude, I wasn't expecting some of those things, and then they came, and I felt so good inside.
Yep.
I'm lazy, dude. There's times where I just want to like veg out. There used to be times I can just like sit on the couch all day and be just fine. I'm one of those guys. I love Mexican food. I love tacos.
That's a good no. So do you feel like do you have a place local in the Olympia area that kind of helps scratch the itch, if you will, for the Mexican food or the tacos, or is it tough to let go of the way San Diego treated you?
Oh, there's nothing that will ever compare, so I don't think I can ever fill that spot. But there has been a couple spots, a couple of those little taco trucks, some of those little hidden gems. Those have come close, but not anything yet.
Okay.
You watch UFC, Skylar? No, sorry. Well, that's not true. I watch the highlights.
Okay. On the taco situation. Okay. Let me give you a rundown. Let me give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario that most of the people watching here and listening here will have had experience in their life. And I'm just curious what your response would be. And maybe if people want to respond in their responses in the comments, they're free to do that too. But this is about you. So scenario is this, man, you had an amazing young adult event service. It was awesome. God moved, man. People were there and just engaging. You could just feel the life in the room. It's, hanging out about an hour or two after the service is over. People are still just, man, so much life. And then event's over, cleaning things up, wrapping things up, locking up the building, right? It's late now. You're like 11 o'clock, 11:15, 11:30 p.m. And you're like, I'm starving. Easy. And there's no shot you're actually going to get food when you get to your house, because you don't think there's anything in your life like your house that's going to suffice the hunger and the desire for good food.
You'd already know the answer.
Where are you going for your late night, like,
Good,
I'm
easy.
going to go crush this right now run?
Well, let's just take a moment of sighing just because I'm excited about this, because man, I go to the one and only the good old TB, man. I mean, there's nothing like
TB
a night. Come on, Jay, let's go, bro. A nice crunch wrap supreme with their hot sauce. I mean, you go to my fridge, I have a stockpile of their hot sauce because their hot sauce is that good, man. I put it on everything. So I would hit up T-Bell. I almost hit up T-Bell before this, to be honest, because the nice thing is it's literally right down the road, like probably a minute drive. So it's right there.
It is. I'm right there with you. Yeah, I'm right.
Although I will, Kyle Gover, you mentioned it, Applebee's. Applebee's is it's one of those like hidden gems. Those happy hour, you got to buy a drink, but that's why you get like the cherry Pepsi or whatever they called it. And those mozzarella sticks and the wings, the wings, they honestly just microwaved them and threw some sauce on it. Like that was it.
But see, the difference between the decision to just trash can your body with Taco Bell or Applebee's is like a totally different context of like you going through the Taco Bell drive-thru at like 11:45 at night, and there's a different level of like, I don't care.
Like, dude, I'm the type of guy who has the Taco Bell app on my phone, and I got rewards building up. Like, it's why waste those points?
That's so good. I think it's a great response. I think that helps people get to know you a little bit more. And
Taco Bell gift card.
No, Sydney, there's no disrespect. Sydney, you know me. You know me. There's no disrespect here. I can't. There is no denying though. There is no denying.
What's your go-to?
It's 100% it's Taco Bell, 100%. Mainly because like it's because it's one of the only places that stays open late, and Jack in the Box is right across the street from the Taco Bell that I would go to, and I've like skirted over there a couple of times thinking like, I gotta change it up and not do Taco Bell. I'm not gonna go to McDonald's that late because it's just too dense for like that late in the evening.
Yeah.
But every time I go to a Jack in the Box or somewhere else, I always feel like I regret why did I just betray my my loyalty
My
to
first
Taco Bell.
love.
But listen to the thing, but nobody can deny if you're going to Taco Bell and you're eating Taco Bell past 10 o'clock at night, you're treating your body's a trash can. I mean, you're treating your body like a trash can because there's just no way, and that's okay. You have to acknowledge that like I am putting trash can food in my body and I'm treating it like that. That's just like I'm accepting that when I'm going to Taco Bell.
I think,
After
Chase,
10
honestly though, if you eat it often enough and you have those moments, it doesn't hit your body as hard.
you think you just get immune? You kind of just
I think so. I mean, I think you grow as a leader, right? You grow in the ability to
you expand your
consume.
capacity for trash can food.
Dude,
I could see some leadership principles in that.
there's lettuce. You're right, Andrew. There is lettuce in the Crunch Wrap. So don't. There's lettuce.
So to Jonathan Sumner's comment, In-N-Out. If I had In-N-Out in Olympia, Jonathan, I would. If we had In-N-Out in Washington, I would 100%. That wouldn't even be a question. I'd be all over it. But we
Yeah,
don't.
and they're open until like 2 a.m. So it's gold.
Taco Bell though, I'm getting a steak quesadilla every single time. If I can only get one thing from Taco Bell until 11 o'clock at night or over, it's always going to be a steak quesadilla for me. Always.
Yes.
And then
that jalapenos, the cream, the sauce they put on it.
It's so good. And then these comments. Oh my gosh.
Sandy.
Okay, Elena, I'm coming there. And then so always steak quesadilla. And then I like to change it up sometimes with that second item. You know, a lot of the times it's Crunchwrap Supreme. Other times it's like the new thing that they're like trying out. I'm always a sucker for that new thing. Like, man, I want to be about their new thing. And then their freezes. I don't know what they're actually called. They're not actually called freezes, but they're so good. They're Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
I've been there so many times in my life. I've never had one of those.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Dude, I remember back in the day when you used to do those little cinnamon twists. Do they still do those?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You get the sweet and savory. You crush it. You crush the savory steak quesadilla and then finish it with like some cinnamon twists.
No, let's be honest, bro. If I'm gonna do that, I might as well just hit another Crunchwrap Supreme. Why waste the calories there?
Oh, okay. I think this is good for people to know. That's real life. And you know, I don't have Chick-fil-A open that late. I don't have In-N-Out. I don't have In-N-Out here. Taco Bell is the only one that doesn't let me down past 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Sam,
that's my body.
You just need another experience, Sam. Try it one more time.
Yeah, and I haven't had Taco Bell in a long time, and it's making me feel like after this young adult event that we're having right now, it might be worth a quick run. It's snowing outside. I might not be able to do that. Hey, this is your last chance here because I think we may be cut off because if you guys started the live before 7 o'clock, it'll cut off in an hour, so we could be right there.
We are real close.
Okay. You'll actually get a notification, Matt. So when you see it, let me know. It'll do like a 60-second circle and let us know how we're wrapping up.
Cool.
Anybody? Last question. Last chance. We'll pick one more question if you want to have a question sent in here on the comments to Matt, and then Matt send a closing thought for everybody. What's the next thing for young adults that they can be thinking about?
Check out this photo. Look at this photo.
Oh my gosh! Get out of here.
Quick, rub Matt's head. No, you cannot. My gosh.
Dude, that little guy is so stinking cute. So cute. Okay.
Well, it looks like
okay, great question, Jay. Great question. There you go.
It's no one like you, Jay. I love that.
You want to answer that one?
I would love to, man. Way that you can be praying for us, man. I think gosh, which one? I think that there's, when you throw a little human that you care for constantly, I think that, there's just grace, an extra level of grace that you need for pretty much every area of your life. Your spouse, relationships with people, your walk with God, your the way that you speak, right? Your physical body. So I would just say prayer just for strength in the season that we're in, right? That we have. There's a lot going on in our life, and then just family, friends, all of that. But then also too, like, we just want to enjoy and soak up every moment that we have right now with our son. And so I think just prayer for grace and strength. for the season.
Yeah. It's so good. Quick prayer for my family. We're just we're buying a little fixer upper in Centralia, and we are
Go Tigers.
we moving out of our house here in Tumwater in a couple weeks, and we're gonna move down there, but we're staying up here. But we're gonna just a lot of details to figure out. But you can just be praying for that. We're excited about it, and got some Chip and Joanna Gaines work to do at that next place. And yeah, if anybody wants to buy a couch, I'm selling a couch. It's the most comfortable couch I've ever sat on in my entire life. People have been asking me, "Are you kidding me? It's so much money." Listen, y'all, make me an offer. It's an amazing couch. That's what I'd say. Thanks for asking, Jay. Thanks for praying for us. Hey, real quick, Matt, what's the next thing on the docket for young adults? Just so that they know where and when that's going to go down.
Yeah. February 25th, we are going to gather because there can't be snow at the end of February, right? Have I gone that long?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, February 25th, 7 p.m. We are going to gather. I'm going to preach. I'm preaching, so don't miss it. It's going to be a good night. Until then, man, join us. Living Water. If you're not in a community, Living Water is a great place to get in community. You can join us this Sunday, 9 and 11, or at livingwater.com. We'd love to have you and allow you to be a part of our community because it's a good place. And maybe Chase's couch will be there and you can sit on it. Yeah. Honestly, bro, that's what the church should do. The church should buy your couch and put
it's the biggest couch. I'm so sad. I'm so sad we're selling it, but it is what it is. Come on, February 25th. There it is, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. What a great time. Now, make sure you jump on Andrew Sanchez. Andrew Sanchez
is going live right now. 15 minutes,
live
50 seconds.
To talk about comedy, to talk about the way that it's best played out in his life and how he can help you be funnier in your life. We love you. Thanks for joining us. See you guys soon.
Yeah, buddy. Does that go on YouTube too?